Well, hello internets, here we are. Little bit of a video where I share a little bit of a hobby of mine. I've never really shown it on YouTube. I've talked about it in my vlogs and such. But this time I thought I would share some short clips, some photos, and well, here we are. This might switch in between voiceover and in-person type video. All depends on how I can edit it and how it unfolds. Now, this by no means is a how-to or step-by-step or a guide to. I'm no art expert, I'm no instructor. YouTube is full of how-to videos. YouTube is full of art experts and instructors. This is just how I did it, some of my results, and some of the ways I did it. Take it as it is, and around we go. Well, what I'm talking about is acrylic paint pouring. Now, some of my techniques aren't really pouring. Some of my techniques are, you know, flowing of the paint. Some of my techniques are putting the paint on the canvas and letting it kind of do what it wants to do. I started with pouring medium here this fall. Now I had to switch up my normal pouring medium that I've used for the last, what, 4 seasons to this new stuff. And my new pouring medium was a lot thinner than my regular old pouring medium. So I didn't realize how thin it was, and I had diluted my pour paints a little bit too far for my liking anyway. So I had to go back through and add more paint to the previously mixed paints with the pouring solution to try to even things out. And even still, I have issues, or had issues. My beginning 3 or 4 there's a little bit of problems with, but they're fine. And the last 5 or 6 have kind of worked themselves out as they went along. That's one of the things with painting. It's kind of trial and error. It's kind of, there's no real right or wrong way of doing it. You'll probably be told you're doing it wrong. You're probably told by the so-called art experts in the comment sections that what you did was a waste of paint, but really spend more on a visit to a fast food restaurant than I did on the paints that I've shown you here on these paintings in this here video. Especially when you buy your pouring paint from a cheaper source. Now, if you're using the so-called professional quality paints that are like $25 for a little 4-ounce tube, then okay, fine, it would probably add up really, really fast. But if you buy your paints from a cheap source, you can really make $20–30 stretch a long way. And even your pouring solution, if you dilute it correctly, that $40 jug can go a really long way, quite more than last you a whole season if you do it correctly. And really, in the end, when everything is dry and your canvases are sealed and hung up on your wall and you think they look okay, does that really matter to anybody else but you? My paintings aren't really for sale. My paintings, I never plan on showing them or exhibiting them or listing them online for sale. I started this whole painting thing back in 2018 as a way to take my mind off the chaos and confusion that was going on in my life with the banks, with past relationship, with the court cases and stuff like that going on, was a way to pass those long hours where I just plain could not sleep. And through trial and error, I learned my own way. I read and watched a couple of videos on what other people were doing. And I quickly found out that what other people do may or may not work for you. And you find your own way of doing things, your own way of mixing your paints, your own paints that you use, your own way of your pouring solutions. Even your canvases that you use may be not desirable for other people. Even the paint brushes you choose to use yourself may not be the right ones that others would use. Starting out with cheap brushes, cheap paint, cheap canvases, until you get a feel for it, and then decide if you want to continue this hobby, and then upgrade your brushes, upgrade your canvases, and upgrade to a little better of paint. And really, I've done it in the past with other things where I went all out and spent a bunch of money on good quality things, and then you find out that that hobby was really not for you. You find out that that hobby is too expensive to actually do or to do effectively, or to even do in the environment that you're currently living in. So then you're stuck with all this stuff that you really can't resell or really use. So this time around, I started out basic and cheap. Once I got the feel for it, I kind of upgraded piece by piece, and you can find a plethora of items online to buy, as well as visiting local craft stores. You can find items to supplement your supplies, you know, there as well. My pour paintings, I like them. They hang on my wall. They bring colors to my walls, which is what the whole object was. They bring a sense of accomplishment when I look, and I remember them to be a blank canvas, and then you see them the way they look now, to be color. And sometimes the painting or the pouring paintings sometimes reflects the mood that I'm in when I paint them. My earlier paintings that were done when I was going through a bit of a rougher, darker time, the paintings were dark, the colors were dark, the style was dark, and as you go through better times, your colors get brighter, your paintings get cheerier, your paintings get nicer, and it's kind of neat to see how things evolved from there. But really, if you're thinking about starting a hobby, especially, well, any hobby, do research. If you're thinking about starting a painting hobby, do research. You know, you don't have to have the best to paint starting off. You can always upgrade later on. There's always those so-called experts in the comment sections that'll tell you you're doing it wrong. But if it looks good to you, then really that's all that matters in the end. But just a little bit of a video of a few things that I had going on in my mind. Leave your comments below if you'd like. As always, thanks for watching Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.